The World to Come was written by Ron Hansen and Jim Shepard. It was produced by multiple people, mainly so being Casey Affleck, and it was directed by Mona Fastvold. The cast and crew involved in The World to Come, the actors and actresses are Catherine Waterston, Vanessa Kirby, Casey Affleck, Christopher Abbott, Karina Ziana Gerasim, and Joaquim Ciobanu. I'm not very particularly good at describing these kind of film stories, so I'm just going to read the Rotten Tomatoes description of the story, as long as you don't mind. In this powerful 19th century romance set in the American Northeast, Abigail, a farmer's wife, and her neighbor Tally find themselves irrevocably drawn to each other. A grieving Abigail tends to her withdrawn husband Dyer, as free spirit Tally bristles at the jealous control of her husband Finney. When together, their intimacy begins to fill a void in each other's lives they never knew existed. So, that's the objective part of The World to Come, the description of basically the entire film. Subjectively, I must say that this film is good. It's a good gay romance film and story. The story is mostly adequate to some great scenes. The most admirable aspect of The World to Come for me is the storytelling. The way that they directed it, the way that they told the story, it feels like you're reading straight out of a novel. They have voiceovers all throughout the film, and they have dialogue, and everything about it is great. The voiceover dialogue and the actors and actresses' lines are really well done. They're really well written. I do love every little bit about the storytelling and the direction. It's very much a slow burn. It has some twists, but ultimately, this is a very slow romance film. So the problems I have with The World to Come are mainly the very inconsistent, awful sound and color mix. The first I noticed was the sound mixing being just bad. It's just bad to awful. So when there are scenes in this film where people are trying to speak to one another, and in the theater I couldn't even hear them because in my left ear I could hear the speaker up on the wall just making a dumb noise that was supposed to be bringing aesthetics to the scene, but it really just sounded like boo for like 5 minutes straight. And that happens very frequently in the film. I'd say at least 3 times. And like I said, it's a nuisance, but also I can't even hear some of the lines right when that's happening. Another problem with mixing are the color palettes. They messed it up pretty damn bad. So near the beginning of the film, it looks pretty ugly, not just with the visuals, with the camera they used, but also the color palette. It's just incredibly inconsistent. The main film itself looks ugly, and the colors look dull. But then you get the scenic pictures of the date and times, like Sunday, February 17th, and it's bright white as can be with black letters on it. And then it goes right back to dull white, black, brown colors. And I don't mean the colors themselves are dull. I mean they like tone down the colors just for the film, which is really weird because throughout the film, from the second act to the end, there were, I would say, like every other scene then, it added more vibrant, vivid coloring to the film. So that didn't really make sense because it would do the beginning dull film, bright ass date picture. But then halfway through, it flip-flopped. It was vibrant, vivid film colors, dull looking date and time pictures. And then every now and again, it would switch back and forth. And the sound and color mix is, honestly, they were all just an utter fail. The color mix, especially combining with the visuals, most of the time this film looked ugly. It didn't even look even HD. It looked way, way downscaled. Not even 480p. It was like 360p at that, at best. The story. So I like the story. I like the slow burn. What I didn't like was the ending. This is why I don't really watch romance films that much. The ending was basically very exploitive and cliche and predictable. I predicted it for the most part, like near the beginning, I'd say 20 minutes in. That's about all of the gripes that I have for this film, though. The World to Come, it's not great. It's a good story. Good. It's a very greatly told story. The direction was well done. The writing is great. It's just the filmmaking of The World to Come is just mediocre to bad, like pretty cringy at times. So overall, for me, The World to Come is a 7 out of 10. Thank you.